Hello, this is a Canvas Essentials tutorial for Fall 2024 quarter. My name is Paige Coleman and I am Canvas Faculty Support with Learning Technologies and Spaces. We are part of the Office of the Vice Provost for Student Affairs. I'd like to preface this Essentials tutorial by saying if you have any questions at all, please submit a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu. I assure you your question will not be lost in a long ticket queue. We have a highly responsive team. Again, that is canvashelp@stanford.edu. If this is your first time navigating to Canvas, please leave additional time for you will be prompted to web authenticate. To navigate to Canvas, type canvas.stanford.edu into a web browser, preferably Chrome or Firefox. Avoid Safari if possible. Once I enter Canvas, I'm immediately taken to the dashboard. Typically at the top of the dashboard, in between dashboard and published courses, you may view a global announcement. We reserve this space for pertinent information only, so if a global announcement appears, please take the time to read it. If by accident you've X'd out of a global announcement, all is not lost. Navigate to the far left side of the screen. This is my global menu bar in red. Click on Account and drag your cursor down and click Global Announcements. Here is where you may view your most current and recent global announcements. While we're here within Account, I'd like to review a few other tools. I'm navigating first to Profile. Here is where you may upload your personal content, whether that be bio, links, or contact information. I would do so by clicking on the three dots on the far right side of the screen and clicking Edit Profile. You also have the ability to upload your image. Once I place my cursor on this radial icon, the pencil edit icon will appear. It's important to note here that students have these same capabilities. However, if they choose to add their own image, this is their personal image, and this is completely separate from their course ID photos on file with the registrar. I'm now going to navigate to Settings and draw your attention to the right side of the screen under Ways to Contact. We highly recommend that your Stanford email address remain your default way to contact, and you would denote default by clicking on the star and highlighting the star. You may add other ways to contact as well, but please denote Stanford by default. If you do not, it could create a barrier to entry for particular tools within Canvas. For instance, Zoom or Collaborations, which is tied directly to your Stanford Gmail account. I'm now going to drag my cursor back and click on Notifications. If you intend to communicate with students in your course through Canvas, please make them aware. You can make them aware in class, through a Canvas announcement, or even post it at the top of your syllabus. This way, students will go through their Canvas courses, drill down to your particular course, and set their notification preferences so they will not miss anything of importance. For instance, when I click on Announcement, these are my notification options. The same applies to other tools as well. If you notice at the top of the screen, there is an information banner. These information banners may appear as blue, red, orange, yellow, sometimes gray. Please take the time to read them, for they pertain directly to our Canvas instance here at Stanford. I'm now going to navigate back to my global menu bar in red and click on Calendar. Please make sure that you have selected the correct calendar for your particular Canvas course. For instance, on the far right side of the screen under calendars, I'm going to scroll down and ensure the Canvas course that I am teaching from is elected. If it is not, for instance, I'm going to click this off, all of the events or due dates for particular content that you have created in Canvas will not appear on the calendar. So once I clicked this specific Canvas course, all the events and due dates for content in that course appeared on the calendar. Something else important to note here, for instance, when I clicked on this assignment for this calendar, I do have the option to delete assignments, events, and other content with due dates in my Canvas course on the calendar. However, when you delete content from the calendar, it will also delete that associated content within Canvas. I'm going to X out of the confirm deletion message. If you have any questions at all regarding the content I'm reviewing, please submit a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu. I'm now going to navigate back to my global menu and click on the dashboard. Now we pull content from the registrar. So a Canvas course card will appear for the course that you are teaching. The same applies for students. If a student is enrolled in your course, a Canvas course card for that course will appear on the dashboard. If you do not see the Canvas course card, please first scroll down. All courses are unpublished by default. So published courses are at the top of the dashboard and unpublished courses are at the bottom. If you still don't see your course as an unpublished course, please contact the registrar or your department administrator. Within the dashboard, there's also the option to switch views. If I click on these three dots next to View All Courses, I'm able to view according to Card View, which is the present view, or List View. List View organizes content according to due dates. This is very helpful for the students. I find most teaching teams rely on Card View. However, even if you're in Card View, if you draw your attention to the To Do on the far right side of the screen, all content according to due date will appear here as well. I'm going to scroll down and click on my LTS Canvas Overview Session course. I'm now going to enter the course. Once I enter my Canvas course, I'm immediately taken to the syllabus. This is the default view for the course. However, before I delve into the syllabus tool, if you would like to utilize content from a previous Canvas quarters course, you may do so by importing that content into the current quarter course. Easy course import functionality has been added. If you'd like to import course content from the previous quarter's course into the current quarter's course, you may do so by utilizing the Easy Course Import functionality on the far right side of the screen under Course Status. I'm going to click Easy Course Import. This is a simplified process with only 2 steps, and it's focused on selecting specific content. This feature will prevent instructors and teaching teams from accidentally importing unwanted content and being very intentional with which pieces of content to import. I'm going to click Let's Begin, and then I would select that specific course content to import into this quarter's course. Click Next, and then I will be prompted to manually go through and select the content. Click Import Content, and the job will queue up, and it should not take more than a couple minutes. I'm now going to navigate back to home. So as I mentioned, the default view for your course is the syllabus. The first best practice for adding content to the Canvas course is adding your syllabus. We have added new syllabus functionality to the course card on the dashboard, and I'm going to highlight that first. So on the dashboard now, there is an Add Syllabus button. The Add Syllabus button is visible to instructors, TAs, and course admins, and they will see this button on certain dashboard course cards. The button will appear for official courses with an SIS ID and when no content has been added to the syllabus tool. Once a course is published, the button will be removed, so it will disappear from the front of the course card. The other way to add the syllabus is within the syllabus tool in your Canvas course. Whether you have a Canvas course or an external website, utilizing the syllabus tool in Canvas will help both prospective and enrolled students access your course information. There is one exception here with the syllabus tool, is that whenever you add content within this tool, it will automatically feed to syllabus.stanford.edu. So the content within the syllabus tool will be accessible to all authenticated Stanford users with a valid student ID, even before you publish the Canvas course. The ability does exist to restrict syllabus access to those enrolled in your course. And this will only work for enrolled students. And feel free to click on Learn How to Restrict Visibility to learn more. Now you may add a single file here from your computer. I would click Choose File. This would take it directly from my desktop. If I were to select my course files, that would select the syllabus from content already within files, and I'll review that in a bit. I'm going to click Cancel here. And I may also add my syllabus by clicking on the Edit Pencil icon. I'm going to click the Edit Pencil icon, and as you can see, this rich content editor box appeared. I will refer to this as the RCE box. This box also remains consistent amongst other tools within Canvas. For instance, when you're creating an announcement, building out an assignment, creating a discussion or a quiz, or even a page. I have the options to add links, images, or media. I'm clicking on the caret next to the icon. And when I click on the caret next to the document, I may upload a document. Uploading a document takes it from the desktop. Course Documents is everything in files. I'm going to go through the process of uploading the document from my desktop. I'm going to click the rocket ship, locate my Fall 2024 syllabus, click Open. However, I must then scroll down and select the usage rights. And then click Submit. There's a lot of clicking. A yellow toolbar will appear in the RCE box, which signifies that the syllabus or document you're inserting here has properly inserted into the RCE box. But then again, you must scroll down and click Update Syllabus. And the syllabus has appeared. So again, that is the first best practice, upload your syllabus. Second best practice we recommend is bringing all the content over for the quarter into files. I'm going to click on Files. Now, you may drag and drop content from your desktop into this box. However, I'm going to click Upload here, and I'm going to start uploading content into this box. If you notice, as I'm uploading content, a red exclamation mark is appearing next to the document. This signifies that I must select my usage rights in order to publish this content in order for it to be visible to students. So I'm going to click the red exclamation mark. And here I may select my usage rights and publish. And once I selected the usage rights, the red exclamation radial icon disappeared, and then the radial circle with the check mark appeared. You may also add folders within the Files tool. With regards to naming conventions, we do not recommend utilizing dates. Please utilize week names, units, project titles, theme names. For if you utilize dates and then you're importing content from a previous quarter into this current quarter, all those dates will roll over and they'll no longer be relevant. So you'll be creating a lot of extra work for yourself. Something else important to note here is that files can be adjusted at a file level, but not the folder level. So if you're adding content within the folder, you must delve into the folder and drill down and make adjustments for that content. Once I place my cursor over this content title and I click on the 3 dots, I have all this functionality as well. Now you may be thinking to yourself, if I'm going to bring over an entire quarter's worth of content, that's going to be a lot of clicking to manage usage rights. However, there is bulk functionality here. If you are on a Mac, press Command A. If you're on a PC, press Control A. And all the content highlighted in blue and a toolbar appeared at the top of the screen, which allows for bulk functionality. So I may delete according to bulk, manage usage rights according to bulk. I'm actually going to click on this now and manage my usage rights according to bulk and click Publish. I may move content around. I may download it as a zip. I also have the ability to manage access, so you can lock down content or a folder between a date and time. And I may view within a toggle screen all of the content. If you have any questions at all regarding the Files tool, please submit a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu. Before I move on, I do want to mention the scribe icon. This is the white S and the black radial circle icon. Scribe is a self-serve document conversion tool that transforms text and image-based files into a variety of output options, including audio, braille, or e-text formats. It will be visible in the Files tool by default. That can be disabled. I'm going to drag my cursor down and click on Settings. And at the top of the screen, you'll notice these course tabs. I'm going to click on Navigation. And as you can see, these tools on the right mirror the ones on the left. I'm going to locate Scribe. I'm going to drag and drop it down here, scroll down and click Save. And that will disable it from the Files tool. If there are any tools that you'd like to hide from students, you would do the same. You would drag and drop them down and click Save, or you could enable particular tools as well by dragging and dropping them up. But just do not forget to scroll down and click Save. I would like to mention the Roster Photos tool next. I'm going to click on Roster Photos. This tool is only visible to teaching teams, but students have the ability to navigate to access and record their pronouns and name pronunciation, which we pull into Canvas, into this Roster Photos tool. I'm going to highlight a more robust visual here since that is my demo course. So as you can see, the students' course ID photos on file with the registrar will appear here. We will pull this information into the tool. And when you click on a student's course ID photo, you're able to view their selected preferred pronouns, and then you're also able to listen to their name pronunciation by clicking on the blue triangle play icon. A few things to note with this tool is that you do have the ability to print out the students' course ID photos. This is a great way to familiarize yourself with the students in the course. If you look at the right side of the screen, there is a download roster button as well. We highly recommend that you download the roster at the beginning of the quarter and right after the add drop period. This will provide you with an accurate list of the students enrolled in the course with their names and their email addresses. At any given time, there could be a lag in notifications in Canvas. For instance, if you were to create and deploy an announcement and you yourself did not receive a notification that that announcement deployed, it most likely didn't. So if this is an emergency situation or you must be able to communicate with the students quickly, if Canvas is not working, then you will have a list of their emails and their names and can send an email outside of Canvas. This is just a fail-safe feature. Again, roster photos is visible only to the teaching teams. You may also encounter an error message when utilizing Chrome. So please just clear your cache or utilize a different browser. This is an issue with many Stanford sites. I'm now going to scroll down and click on the People tool. The People tool is visible to students, but students will only be able to view other students' name, section, and role. The People tool is visible to teaching teams as well, except it's not visible if you have an observer, librarian, course content share, or reviewer role. If your course is going to employ a lot of group project, collaborative-based work, I do recommend keeping the People tool visible for students. I'm now navigating back to home. The absolute last thing that you should do when your course is student-facing ready is publish the course within its entirety. And you may do so under Course Status on the right side of the screen by clicking Publish Course. There is also a button to publish the course on the course card right from the dashboard as well. Now, as I mentioned, if you have any questions at all, please submit a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu. You may also submit a ticket while you're working within the Canvas course, so you do not have to exit out, go to email, or exit out of the current screen by navigating back to the global menu, scrolling down, and clicking Help. Request help from Stanford Canvas support goes to the same place as submitting a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu. You also have the ability within Help to click Immediate Help with Zoom for urgent issues, email continuing studies, browse the Stanford Canvas FAQs, or search the Canvas guides. Throughout the quarter, I also recommend navigating to gocanvas.stanford.edu. We update this site throughout the quarter. So there is a homepage with overview tutorial recordings, an instructors tab with a plethora of instructor resources, students tab, and also within news. This is where I highly recommend that you take a look throughout the quarter. We include a lot of important updates regarding specific tools within Canvas. Now, this was just an Essentials tutorial. I do have another Canvas overview tutorial accessible at gocanvas.stanford.edu, where I really delve into the specifics of creating course content within your Canvas course. If you're also interested in an individual consult, please submit a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu as well. I hope you have a lovely fall 2024 quarter.